Hello, everyone. Good morning here from Brazil. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. So today we have something here super special. I'm Juliana Brito. I'm the relationships coordinator of GameJamPlus. I work intensely with our local organizers to make this super game jam possible. Starting tomorrow, and we're super excited to receive here Totem, our super partner that believe in all of us and offering amazing prices for this amazing technology. But I'm not going to talk about it. First, I'll let Eden present himself. Thank you very much, Eden, for being here with us. Could you tell us a little bit about Totem?
Sure. Thanks, Juliana. Hi, my name is Idan. I'm head of games at Totem. I used to be an indie guy, indie developer, and today I'm helping to bring indie creators' visions to life through our collective. I can explain a little bit about Totem before we start, and then we can jump into the good stuff, the categories, and all of that. So if you don't mind, I would like to share my screen. This will just make it a little bit easier for me to explain everything. All right. So Totem, what is Totem, and why we are here partnering with GameJamPlus for this edition of 22-23. So Totem is an indie game development collective, and our aim is to unite creators and players around a universe of interconnected game experiences. The idea is that we want to allow game developers to harness the power of community and work with each other to create a new, interesting experience for the players by allowing them to move their owned assets from one game to another. So, for example, if I have an avatar in one game, I can take it with me to a different game by a different developer and get some sort of experience with it. First of all, I'll explain a little bit about what it is. So basically, the core value proposition that we offer indies and the players in the future is to own assets that they can buy, and the revenue from those assets is shared between all of the indie game developers in the community. So we're actually some sort of a democratically governed organization that allows everyone who joins us to affect how we're going to monetize and share the revenue and govern ourselves. But the basic thing is that players buy those assets. Now they can own them and take them between the different experiences created by the different indie studios. And those experiences can be created using any game engine that's native to you as creators. And you can decide how to interpret those assets. So in this example, we have a player who owns this sort of fire spear. So they can play a mobile game with this fire spear, or a console game, or like an old school text adventure, like a retro style game with this fire spear, and see how it behaves in all of those different games. The second thing that happens is what's called legacy events. So legacy events are an element of those assets that are owned by the players that allows them to remember what happened to them or what players did with them inside the different games. So you can think about them as sort of kind of like Steam achievements that carry over to other games. And we'll have a couple examples here from games that we already have. In terms of the economy, the way it works is that players buy those assets, they can own them, and then go and play them inside the different games. And everybody who's part of this organization, or who's sort of helping out by either creating games or creating tools and technologies, for example, APIs for different game engines, and even promoters like streamers can earn a revenue by giving the player an experience that's interesting and unique for them. Now, if you don't mind, this is a little bit about our community. So we're already in Discord, over 300 people that are working together to bring this vision to life. We're separated into different clans, we call them. So builders are creating the technology, the storytellers, the frogs are the game creators. We have ambassadors like GameJamPlus. We have wardens who are sort of legal counsels and accountants, and contributors who are the investors who spent their money to basically kickstart this entire operation. We've raised some funds to allow this to happen, and right now what we're doing is we're offering indies grants to work with us, create their games. So in a very short period, create like a very thin vertical slice for their game, and use our technology and connect to other developers to create this interesting sort of interconnected experience with all this. So I would love to ask everyone to join our Discord. We'll have a link, I think, in this YouTube below, so you'll be able to jump in and join us, say hi, and ask anything you want about the category and stuff like that. So this is just a brief overview about Totem in general. And thanks. Juliana, you're muted. I can't hear you. Oh no!
I'm muted. So thank you very much, Idan, for the explanation. And it's super more clear now what you guys are doing. It's great. It's super combined with what GameJamPlus is. And before we get to the good stuff, I'm just going to do a little overview of the GameJamPlus process. So we start with a game jam, so 48 hours to develop a game marathon. Then we go to an incubation phase where we improve those games in terms of playability, game design, music, and everything. On the next stage, we go to acceleration phase, and then we end that with the business rounds. Between those stages, we have the semifinal award ceremony, and in the end, the grand final award ceremony. So that's super important. So a category is like a GameJamPlus happening at the same time as GameJamPlus. So the Totem category, you are able to participate at GameJamPlus normal flow of things, but also participate in the category at the same time. If you are subscribed to this category, you're going to be able to get more prizes, and we'll talk about them. You're also able to get more mentorship, especially for our sponsors. So Totem are going to be helping you guys through the category at the same time. So that's the difference when you choose a category. It means you are running GameJamPlus like double. And with the same game, you do not need to develop a new game for that. You can go to the category and to the normal GameJamPlus at the same time. So that's a little explanation. We have other videos here in the channel. They're probably going to link down below explaining in details. And you also can find more information about the whole GameJamPlus in our website, GameJamPlus.com. So check it out. And also the amazing local organizers that make everything possible. You can also go to them and ask questions. They have material and different things. We this year are going to have 6 themes and also categories that you can choose to participate. And they will just be revealed tomorrow. So that's a secret for the moment. And now I'm going to invite Eden again for the stage so he can explain what's the Totem category, what you guys are looking for, how you're going to make a selection. So how the whole process going to go from the beginning to end, and what should the players pay attention, especially in this first moment of the game jam, this 48 hours, that's so much happening. So what should they focus so they can have this amazing opportunity to be in your category?
Perfect. Thanks. So I'll talk a little bit about the Totem category, and we have a few slides here that explain it. But before I go into how things are going to happen, I would love to really invite everyone to join the category. I think it's an amazing opportunity for indies in general. We have a $10,000 prize pool for this category. And basically what you have to do is very simple. So I already explained briefly what legacy events are. And again, those are sort of like things that can happen inside your game and be remembered by the assets that the players own and change their experience. And I would love to give like an example of this. And the idea is that we have quite a few games in Totem right now in our community, people who are working from all over the world, actually, who are working on different games. And those games are already available to play, some of them on itch.io. And we have 3 games that we would like to present for this category to allow the different jammers in GameJamPlus to interact with them and sort of interpret the legacy events from those games inside their own games. Now, Totem technology is very simple to use, but it's very complex behind the scenes. But we don't need anyone in the span of the 48-hour game jam to even use any part of our technology. This will be like a little bit into the category in the future, in the incubation phase and acceleration. But for now, all you have to do is to interpret one legacy event from any of the following games. So we have three games, one from Brazil, Dreadstone Keep, by a studio named Tavern Tale. They're based in Brasilia, and were actually introduced to us first by Juliana. We have Project Dino by a studio named Eudokia from Russia. They're working on this sort of simulation adventure hybrid about collecting dinosaur bones and raising cute little baby dinosaurs to make them into big, cute dinosaurs. And Island Ambush by a team of three brothers from the United States, the Judge Brothers. This is like a physics action puzzler about knocking down factories that destroy the ocean, and you play as like a fish with a cool whale companion that helps you to do that, and it's aimed actually at mobile devices. So what we have is, this is an example of a legacy event, just so that you understand how it works, and we picked like an example from two of those games. So in Project Dino, after you hatch a dinosaur egg, which is one of the things you do as part of the core gameplay loop, you get a special legacy event, which is Caretaker. So basically you manage to raise a dinosaur in the game. Now you have a legacy event that's tied to your character, and the different games can interpret this event however they like. And the team from Tavern Tale, who were working on Dreadstone Keep, decided to allow you to get a special dinosaur companion to help you basically fight the enemies in the dungeons of Dreadstone Keep. And he's your companion, or she's your companion in this experience. And there's a way that you can understand like kind of how those games can be tied through the legacy events. What we need you to do is to interpret at least one of those three different legacy events from those three different games. So we have one for each game. For Dreadstone Keep, the game allows the players to achieve a unique cleanser legacy event. So you can ask yourself, what happens inside my game that I'm just making in 48 hours after a player manages to kill 100 enemies in Dreadstone Keep? How is it going to alter or change my experience? Do I give them a special boost, or like a unique challenge that they can now face, or a special character that they can use? In Island Ambush, we have the Defender legacy event. And the question you should ask yourself is, what experience will a player get in the game after their sort of their avatar rids the ocean from all of those nasty factories? So after you manage to finish the demo version, which is 5 stages for Island Ambush, how is your game going to change? So you can decide for yourself how to react to this. And again, you don't need to do anything in terms of applying the actual technology, which is what the grounded games do. You sort of just need to make sure the content is there in your game build and is explained in your pitch. For Project Dino, I already mentioned the Caretaker legacy event. So what can happen inside your game after you a player manages to hatch a dinosaur egg? So those are basically the three different legacy events we need you to interpret, and this is what we would like to see from your games. As for the category itself, we aim to provide mentorships for everybody who likes to work on their game with us. So in the three-month incubation period, we're going to make sure to provide you with the level of attention that we give basically all of our grants, our grant applicants and receivers, to make sure that your game supports the different assets that we have. So avatars and items, the different legacy events that can be associated with them, and you'll have a chance to start working with all of the different teams we have, which are all indie studios who are currently developing their games either from scratch or from an advanced point in the process to create their own games. And what's important to mention about Totem in general is that, and also for this category, we are a collective. So we're a democratic organization, and we don't intend to be like a publisher or something like that. So we don't take revenue share from sales of your game. You can distribute it wherever you like. The IP is yours. We're here to build something that's larger than the sum of its parts, essentially. And we invite anyone to join us and try out, their hands in this category. In terms of the requirements, we have just a few requirements that are important right now. The API we're using is only fitting for Unity, so we need the teams to actually work in Unity in order to participate in the category. You're going to have to do is to play the demos for Dreadstone Keep, Project Dino, and Island Ambush. In the manual, you're going to have all of the links for those games. Review the legacy events that I've mentioned, and think about how core elements from your game can be altered or expanded to give the players a unique new kind of experience. And then include the changes as part of your game and make sure they appear in the build and in the pitch. Yeah, this is basically it.
So thank you very much. This seems like super cool. I'm super excited to be able to play some of these games before and know like what happens. So I also played that Strong Keep. So I'm hoping a lot of players choose these legacy events because I'm gonna have like a lot of adventures. So I'm
You're not
excited.
limited, so I think the more the merrier in this case.
Yeah.
We're going to pick, of course, the best games, but also the ones that represent sort of the connections in the best way.
That's super cool. So now, Idan, can you tell us a little bit about, like you told me what you're looking for, how the selection's gonna go? You need to be in unit, um, and you need to follow one of those legacy events. Do you guys need any more so this person can go to the incubation phase? So is there any other criteria you guys going to be analyzing to select the people that go to incubation phase?
Yeah, so I'll go over the requirements real quick, just to make sure we have everything. So we need an interpretation of at least one legacy event, and this should be a meaningful interpretation. So you should think that players in the world of Totem are playing all of those different games, and you can sort of draw their attention and bring them into your experience by attaching to the different hooks that the developers leave there, and this creates potentially very viral effects, I think, because this is very cool in my mind. So think about how you can alter your game in a way that's meaningful. Like, is your character changing based on things they did? Is there access to a new sort of content that you can enable the players to try out based on the legacy events that they play, based on playing those games? This is sort of state of mind, and we prefer if it would be meaningful sort of elements that are tied to the core mechanics of the experience, and also it should be communicated well as well visually, for example. Another thing is, I mentioned already, the games should be developed using Unity. They should be playable on either PC or mobile or web. I think these are basically the simplest one to implement. We need the games to be available to download from a presentable itch.io pitch, just because this is where we have the collection for all of the games we have. Also, Game Jam games appear in our itch.io. And the game should support English as a main language. We're like a global organization. We're trying to at least have this. But if you want to include any other language, this is not a problem. Just make sure to include the English as well. And these are basically the requirements. Besides that, make the best game you can. Make sure gameplay is nice and tight and polished, and that the game looks awesome and feels awesome to play. You can do whatever you like. You can make a hyper casual game, a deep strategy game. Of course, you only have 48 hours for the game jam itself, but this is already, I think, a good time frame to allow us to assess your abilities and whether or not you can join us for the incubation phase.
That's great. Now we have a question from the chat. So how much going to be the prize pool for the category?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, the prize pool for the category is $10,000. But besides the prize money that the winners are going to earn, we also allow the participants a chance to win a Totem Game Development Grant. And the grants are our way to support indies currently, and those are advanced indies who are currently working on their games and get funded by us to create their games, either from scratch or from an advanced point, like sort of phase. So the winners will be able to join our process, this grant process, to build their game and have us support them, financially and in terms of basically continuing the mentorship that we start in GameJamPlus.
That's even better than the $10,000 pool prize because then you get to actually, continue and develop your game, making like a better version of a vertical slice and enhancing your chances to get like a publisher and actually having these game on the hands of people. That's so cool, Totem, what Totem's doing. I have like a question. So if someone missed this amazing opportunity at the game jam, like they were stressed, let's say like that. They were stressed and they couldn't do it in 48 hours. Is there still a possibility they can get inside this category during the incubation phase?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, the 48-hour game jam, I think, is a great opportunity to show us your strength and what you're able to do. And if you happen to decide to try out, this category after the 48-hour game jam, because maybe you didn't get a chance to include the legacy events, or you didn't really understand what happened, and you're watching this, ahead of time, like after the fact, and realize this is something you can do. You can completely, like, there's no problem that you apply to us. There is, I think, something like a week for you to refine your game and refine your pitch. And if you want, you can include basically as part of your pitch the sort of engagement you want to do with us in Totem, and we'll of course consider and make sure that anyone who's worthy and interested and passionate about becoming part of our community will have a chance to participate. Absolutely.
That's great. Just so we're clear, like if you forgot or if you're too nervous, or if you didn't, you got confused with everything and didn't do in the 48 hours the legacy event, you will still have a chance to do it after. But why should you do it during the game jam? It is important if you try to do it during the game jam, because then you will already be on this category. And if we have like too many games, like we have a limited time, resource, and people, so we have like too many, we will not be able to do this, getting teams that were not in the category yet. So if you want to be sure you're going to have a chance in this category during the game jam. But it always a possibility, if we have the space and we have the manpower, you'll also be able to do it later, and come and be part of this amazing category. So
Absolutely.
another question here from our chat, that's from Roy. Is there a prize for second and third place as well?
So the $10,000 is a prize pool. We're deliberately not saying right now how much of it is going to be allocated to a first, second, or a third. Maybe there's only going to be one place. Maybe there are going to be two places or three. We're still not going to reveal this, but as we progress in the category, it's going to be much more clear, I think, for us and for you. And we'll make sure to update on those details in the future. As for the grants, we're not limiting the number of people who can attempt to apply for a grant with us, and especially if we already have had a chance to work with you and see sort of your process. This is absolutely going to make things much easier for you in terms of applying. I had another thing that I wanted to say, and that is that the 48-hour game jam is just a very small test, like a little taste of what is possible through interconnected experiences through Totem. But for the acceleration and incubation phase, we're going to work with the tools themselves. So we're going to use the Unity API for developing the project. And there are going to be more specific requirements, for example, interpreting the unique properties that each asset that's owned by a player has. So things like how my character looks or how my items behave are going to be a part of the incubation and acceleration process, and also interpreting more legacy events and actually using the technology to make them work, so that when a player does something in one game, it actually does affect their character or asset or item in a different game. So this is just the first step, is the one or two or three legacy events that are not even connected using the technology. But in the future, we're going to go much deeper to sort of connect you to our community of creators.
And of course, Totem and GameJamPlus and all our amazing mentors will be with you guys during this whole incubation process and also acceleration process to help you get in contact with this technology. Will be not a problem, because you are all amazing developers, and with time we will get there. So no worries about that. So I think we're coming to the end of this category. But I would like Totten to give some advice. Like if you went to a game jam and you were trying to participate in this category, what be your like what you would be your strategy, since like you're also a game developer, like you are a game developer once, game developer for life, but
Yeah.
as a participant, what do you do it?
So even before applying to Totem or considering the legacy events, which does take time, it takes some effort. It takes, to play the games and understand them, and maybe they can help you, I think, to maybe get inspired as well, because those are completely different games by different developers. But just in general, like general tips for game jam, like for a 48-hour game. So your goal is to release a game very fast. This is like the main task. And usually what happens during game jams is you're maybe looking for a group, or you came with a group ahead of time, you're brainstorming, and then very fast you start to develop, and then you panic, and then at the last moment you upload your game, and everybody's very excited, and sometimes it leads to good results, sometimes not so much. And I think a healthy process would be to have, first of all, an efficient brainstorm. So it's not about just finding the first idea you want and doing it. It's about thinking like, split apart from the team, get some ideas around, make sure you're all aligned, and then, very important, don't fight with other people's egos. It's a team effort. Work together, find a middle ground between all of you, and then start the development. But before you even develop, a little phase of pre-production, this can be half an hour, 20 minutes, but allocate the time to really think, what is your work process? How are you working with each other? Do you have a Git? Can all of us work inside this game engine, right? Like, are we going to use, how much time do we actually have for this? Maybe some of us during this weekend are doing other things as well. How much time we can actually spend to make sure we don't overscope. And then maybe the best tip I can have, and this really helped me in some of the game jams I've been involved with, and I actually won some awards for my game jam games. The best tip I can give: make your deadline like 6 hours earlier. The game should be as early as possible. I would even say open an itch page, for example, way ahead of time, and make sure you always have like the most updated build in there. Like every few hours, if you have something working, just put it out there. And that way you feel more safe but the product that you already have. And it's all about, polishing and making sure it's in the best phase possible. But cut your time, take like 20% off of the time that you actually have, 25%, and make this your deadline. It's going to make wonders to your scoping, and in general, you're going to have like a much better time, I think. Yeah, just a couple ideas. There are
Did
more,
you
but
guys got the pro tips here? Did you? Yeah. So you have the pro tip. Who everybody who watches live had the pro tip. So thank you very much, Totten, for being here with us. We are only possible to make the whole GameJamPlus because of great sponsors like yourself, that believe in the community and want to develop the game communities all over the world. Tomorrow we're going to start. So we have 74 cities with us, 32 countries. Each one is going to start in a different time zone. Today at night here in Brazil, we're already going to start in Philippines because there is already going to be time for the jam. And then we go all over the globe, and that's only possible because we get some sponsors. GameJamPlus has been running for the 7th edition now. We're only able to grow because sponsors like yourself believe in us, believe in our community, and came and did those amazing grants, because those prices are like super important when you're doing a game jam, but mostly when you're doing GameJamPlus, because we have this plus and our process goes like 8 months. So it's good to get like a more substantial prize in the end instead of just a trophy. That's also cool, but to get better prizes is also a possibility. And more than that, to be able to get some kind of like publishing deal, some kind of, it's not publishing deal, but to get some grants so you can continue to develop even further. I think that's what every new game developer aims to achieve, so they can get inside the market, they can produce their own game. So thank you very much for being here with us. If you have like a final say it now.
Join our Discord. The link is down below in the description. So please join us and say hi when you have time.
Yes, that's perfect. Join the Discord and be prepared. If you're not subscribed for GameJamPlus yet, what time are you losing? Come on, people. Amazing prices, amazing experience, amazing mentorship. Your whole life as a game developer is here. Just come, subscribe. We have all these different countries. And thank you very much, you all, for being here with us today. I hope to see you here in the grand finals.
Thanks,
Bye.
Juliana.